Welcome to the Doctors Who Read Stuff. While we appreciate video games, movies, and television, we don't believe it should be the expense of literature. We're covering chapters 24 and 25 of Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. We do drop new content, if I can find it, right there, every week on Wednesdays. So please click that subscribe.
The subscribe
We'll do it
button.
later.
That's right there.
Yeah. Do the thing.
I see it down
Click
there.
the stuff. And here we go.
Make you the cute one.
All right. Welcome to the Doctors Who Read Stuff. I'm Chris.
I'm Chip.
I'm Brian.
And like we said, this is chapters 24 and 25 of Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Hopefully, during that short break, I have loosened up the muscles in my tongue.
Sure.
You've been lifting a lot of weights lately, so you're just tense.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm
You
very
got it.
tense.
You got
I'm very
it.
tense. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
All right,
please?
so we'll give a quick
Because this is
synopsis
going
here.
down
So,
quickly.
yeah, we'll try to rescue you.
Thanks.
Chapter 24. Kelsier and Vin both arrive at Club Shop, where many of the crew members are hanging out. Kelsier discusses the status of the mission, and Vin realizes how much she really loves this new life that she has. She doesn't have to hide in the shadows anymore. Kelsier asks Ham to go to the garrison, and Vin decides to go with him to learn more about Pewter. On the way to the garrison, Ham talks about his family and a little bit about Kelsier, and he also gives her some pointers on using Pewter in her Allomancy. He also plans to show her some stuff by sparring with someone at the garrison, but when they get there, they find the garrison is leaving. Vin overhears a conversation between Ham and Certes and finds out that the Ska Rebellion has attacked the Holstep garrison to the north, which is a surprise to everybody and felt kind of sudden.
Yeah.
But chapter 25, with the news of the attack on the Holstep garrison, Kelsier decides to warn the Ska army. They are going to constantly flare Pewter in order to run all the way up to the caves. He hopes to arrive there before the Valtro garrison army gets there. Vin basically joins Kelsier on this trip, kind of like she joined him on the attack on Credit Shaw, but the results are a little bit different this time. Kelsier tells her that this is going to be a hard trip and tells her about Pewter dragging. On the way, Vin and Kelsier encounter the remains of the Ska army surrounded by the Valtro garrison, who's already arrived there. Kelsier wants to go down and try to rescue the army, and this is where Vin kind of shows some maturity and says, no, you're not immortal, you're not invincible. It's not worth the risk of losing you. And he sides with her, so they go to the caves, and they find about 2,000 soldiers remaining. But the soldiers are ready to leave at a moment's notice thanks to Menace. Menace is the man that Kelsier met in the prologue way back on Lord Tristing's plantation.
Yep.
So Menace gives Kelsier some more advice, and they chat. And that's kind of the end of chapter 25 and part 3, right?
Right. It is, yeah. So I really enjoy Ham.
Yeah.
Because he comes back. He comes back from the caves, and they notice that he's already back in a vest, instead of the sleeved uniform he was in. And then later they find out that he actually tore the sleeves off of his uniform. And is it Doxson that's concerned about the cost of
Yeah.
You ruined the uniform, and when Vin was Allomancing around the tower spying on Aelin in the previous chapter, her dress got all dirty, and he flipped out a little bit over that. So that was those kind of interactions kind of humanize everybody in the crew and kind of give them that little extra dimension, which is really kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire section of this chapter is just kind of them hanging around, drinking, just making fun of each other, and just bonding. Right?
Yeah, and I think one of the scenes that kind of stuck out to me, was the scene where they're all bonding, and Vin's so much a part of it. And at one point, she looks out into the hallway and imagines, her old self that she would have been hiding in the shadows, out in the hallway, and not part of any of this. And she realizes how much she enjoys being a part of something like this.
So I was reading that, and I read her realization, and then I was like, I wonder how long it's been. And sure enough, Brandon Sanderson in the very next paragraph said it was 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, thank you, Brandon. It's you read my mind. You're because you drop something like that, and you're okay, so how much time has actually passed? And then he just tells you.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So
the other thing that it was funny talking about, Vin and her comfort with the group. She also hasn't really worn street clothes a lot lately, so she gets dressed in street clothes, and she said she kind of felt a little weird dressing up in street clothes, that she almost is more used to wearing dresses at this point in her life. So it's just, I think some of those little characterization nuances are kind of fun, just to show how much she's grown and changed. And, and 6 months seems like a realistic amount of time, that it feels organic, that, there's a lot that you can change in yourself in 6 months, and for everything she's been through, it's believable.
And she's got
and it doesn't
a
feel forced.
good handle on her powers, but it's still a short enough time period where she's still new to them.
And she has a lot to learn.
Right.
And learning the little nuances from each different misting who kind of has a different expertise is kind of cool.
And I really kind of like that, because that just dives into how fleshed out Sanderson made the magic system. Because everything seems to be nuanced. Everything has layers upon layers. It's not just top level. It's like an ogre or an onion. It's got layers.
Parfaits have
good callback.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like the fact that it adds the realism of you either. It's not like you know it or you don't. You can have it different levels of knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
And not only can you know a lot for, like, she thought that Kelsier knew a lot, but then she went out with Marsh, or she went out with these people who were just mistings in the one element
as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But they're like experts in their specific thing where.
And it felt like it was a real, like there are different layers of knowledge.
Yeah. What's the expression? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
Yeah. It kind of applies here.
A little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that level of complexity exists. I like it.
In reading some of the annotation stuff again, Sanderson said that one of the challenges of writing in a big world or realized world like this is being able to get characters from different places to in a hurry. So he's got the Allomancy, I forget what the Spikeway.
Yeah.
But then he introduces the Peter Dragging in this coming in chapter 25.
Sorry, Peter Dragon?
Nah.
Pete's Dragon.
His Peter might have been dragging after the 16-hour run.
Ooh.
Mine would have been. What did they say? It was like a 2-week trip by canal?
Something like that.
It was something crazy like that?
I thought I read like 3 days march. Or
that was for the Valtro garrison to get to Holstep.
Yes.
So that's what they were trying to get there before them.
But I looked it up, and obviously if you have an entire army, it's going to take you longer. But I saw that like the average horseback, like the mileage you could cover according to Stack Exchange, which is kind of my trusted source for work. They said 30 miles to 40 miles a day for a horseback. Now, granted, that's over probably rough terrain. That's going to be on an unpaved trail. But you think, even for an army, like that's still, they're covering 3 days worth of marching in just like a handful of hours.
16 hours or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, and we're kind of getting a little ahead of, we hadn't really gone through chapter 24 quite yet, but I mean, I'm the one that brought it up. But I was just,
damn it, Chip.
We were talking, there's not really a lot to cover in 24 other than...
There was one thing that I would like to kind of cover here.
And while you're looking for it, they did also mention that Marsh was in place.
Yes. So he's with the Obligators and the Inquisitors. And
I to your point, last episode, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, did he go as far as to get the tattoos on his face?
I would imagine he'd have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty sweet. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about for
he's
my
committed.
next tattoo.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is Alicia okay with that?
I don't ask her these things.
I
do what I want.
You're
I'm
a man.
Yes.
Sorry, did you find it, Brian?
I didn't. Although I can tell you that when I think about the Obligators, I think of the Mike Tyson face tattoo.
Oh yeah.
I hope it looks
like
better
a big
than
tribal
that.
tattoo. I hope it's not that, but.
But the shoot, I'll have to find it.
Well, while you're looking,
So far, this is a good story, Brian.
Yeah. So go ahead and look, and All right. I just wanted to talk through. She does pick up some stuff from Ham. Ham's really telling her kind of about pewter, and that's convenient because she really has to use pewter in the next chapter.
Right.
So, it's a good plot device that she does get to learn it before she uses it.
And she, because Kelsier is like, burn it and don't stop, and she's like, but Ham said, he's like, no, not right now.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Mm-hmm. But so then they get to the garrison where Ham's going to do some inspection, but they find the garrison's all packing up to leave, and I kind of felt like it felt like this is a necessary plot device, but it just felt all of a sudden kind of like you're blindsided by it. But I think that's the way that you're supposed to feel,
right?
Yeah,
because everything for the most part for this crew has been going really
they really
well.
haven't run into, other than the attack on Credit Shaw, they hadn't really had any hiccups.
I mean, if we look, you can kind of see we're near the we're
two-thirds
nearing the end of the book here,
we're kind of
so
hitting that.
we have to like start prepping for what I believe to be the final climax.
Yeah.
It's the final climax.
I thought this was more family friendly. But...
It has to be a ska song though, right?
Yeah. It's something like that.
Like something.
Didn't
from
you say
the
Ska
Mighty
Rebellion
Mighty
would be a
Bosstones?
great band name for a ska band?
I would totally play in a band called Ska Rebellion.
Yeah.
I have a trombone.
Can you play a trombone?
Yes.
Oh, well, like
I almost went to Allstate.
wow. I thought for a second you were gonna say you have a trombone, but I have no idea how to play it.
No, I
Like that's
I
really
used to be
random.
quite good.
You mean
Oh.
the instrument, the trombone?
Right. What were you thinking?
I was into pewter dragging and all that. So.
Peter dragging and Vin's balls
And
and
your trombone.
Guess what? I found
Okay. All right. Now we
Thank
killed
you,
enough time
Brian.
for Brian to find and save us.
This is the problem with reading someone else's copy of the book. I hate underlining things, but if we go back to my prediction from last time or 2 times ago, Vin's early
yes.
apprehensions returned. What would happen if Kelsier seized the imperial throne for himself?
Ooh.
He couldn't possibly be as bad as the Lord Ruler, but she was reading more and more of the logbook. The Lord Ruler hadn't always been a tyrant. He'd been a good man once, a good man whose life had gone wrong. Kelsier's different.
Right
Is
here,
it?
Vin actually wonders what Brian wondered. So I caught that too.
I appreciate that.
I give you credit for things.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think it's also, kind of building on that. Kelsier, he's kind of got plans within plans, and he's kind of doing a lot of different things to manipulate things and make things happen.
Yeah.
And I think that this whole news about the Ska Rebellion, I mean, it took him by surprise. He's like,
Oh yeah.
what the hell?
He was not happy.
That we were building on all
Yeah.
this. We had a plan, and God damn it, we had messed it up.
Well,
You know?
I mean, it's very interesting at the beginning of 25 to just see him like, okay, you got to
Yeah.
do this, you got to do this,
Definitely
we got
goes
to do
into
this,
a
you gotta
command
do
and
this.
control
he's
mode.
Like, he's like, we gotta get there.
Burn some pewter.
Yeah.
We got to run.
That's gonna be my new
Run so
expression
far.
for when we got to get somewhere fast. We got to burn some pewter.
Yeah.
I wonder how loud that snap was.
I don't know. And then
Probably
they ran.
Chris, sorry.
They ran so far away.
He did. In daylight.
Yeah. Yeah, and that I like that scene where they're running and they're basically
Yeah.
knocking guards over and plowing through people.
That's like a made-for-TV scene.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
totally picture that happening.
I don't know. Like it depends on the budget. That's almost like we were
Made
Have
for a
you seen
movie.
The Boys?
It's made for like HBO Max.
There we go.
Have you seen The Boys?
No.
on Amazon Prime?
No.
There's a scene where somebody's running really fast and runs right through somebody else.
Nice.
And the guy's holding her hands, and all he has left is her hands. 'Cause
Oh, jeez.
she basically, yeah.
I've never
Oh.
seen that on the CW.
Spoiler alert.
Slash.
Sorry.
So
but
you're
yeah.
saying he was caught red-handed?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. Anyway,
You have a talent,
speaking
Brian.
of TV, I did watch the first episode of Picard, and
Yes.
the actress that plays Daj and the way they have her dressed is exactly how I picture Vin in these books.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's uncanny.
Yeah,
but
you said that, and I can't unsee it.
yeah,
so.
it's totally her. So anyway, as she's running, I picture, I don't know the actress's name, but whoever plays Daj is.
Isa starts with a B.
Oh, I thought you were doing a Jar Jar Binks there. ISIS.
No.
You just say ISIS?
Maybe.
Oh, great. Now the government's going to be watching
Shoot, now they're going to tag a keyword.
Well, at least that's one more subscriber.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
I won't
yeah.
use that as a keyword when
Okay.
I post it.
Thank you.
Misa's so sorry.
Okay.
All right,
That's
so
enough. That's
so
enough.
now they're running. They're running
Right.
really fast.
Yes.
They're covering a lot of ground in a short period of time.
And he warns her to keep burning pewter
Yeah.
because if she stops, she's basically going to
Everything's-
just
yeah.
fall
Yeah,
unconscious.
she's gonna
Yeah,
keel over.
that's how crazy this is. And he says something interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Carry on. while I'm doing this.
Some of the annotations on this chapter. So Sanderson said that killing off the army was one of the first things that he had planned when he kind of plotted out the book, and he always wanted to throw a kind of a big wrench into Kelsier's plans, and that it definitely is a big wrench in his plans.
Yeah, it did.
He also wanted to kind of show that, I don't know that I picked up on this reading it, but he said that basically, the performance that Kelsier had in a prior chapter where he pitted Bilg against Demo, and kind of showed his powers, that the army's kind of feeling invincible. That,
right.
Yedin and the army's feeling like, well, gosh, if Kelsier can help us do this, there's nothing that can stop us.
Right.
So he's kind of creating his own problem
a
little bit there. And I didn't pick up on it when I read it, but when reading that, it's like, oh yeah, he totally did.
So I found what I was looking for. After they were done, Kelsier said, "You've just done something incredibly unfair to your body. It should have shut down hours ago, but you have pewter to make it keep going. You'll recover. You'll even get better at pushing yourself like this. But right now, you just have to keep burning the pewter and stay awake. We can sleep later."
Boy, that's kind of
like you
exactly,
can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying to myself when I ran my marathon. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, just keep moving. You can sleep
That's
later.
what I was
Very
saying to
nice.
myself when I was on that brewery tour bike ride.
Oh.
That sounds tough.
It's only 12 more miles to the next brewery. You can do it.
Yeah.
Don't stop pedaling.
Don't
I think that-
stop.
Pedaling?
I don't know.
I think it's interesting, too, that this is the second time that Vin has really forced Kelsier to bring her along. So the first time, we know, was Credit Shaw, and things went badly in a hurry. But this time, I think it just shows the growth of her as a character, and just the level-headedness she had when they found the army, and it was just being slaughtered, and Kelsier is ready to just barrel right in there and save the people that he can. And she's like, no, don't.
Dude,
you
you will
can't do
die.
that. You're not invincible. We know that we're not invincible. And he kind of reluctantly, goes with her and
Like,
leaves.
no,
and
we
heads
need
the
to go
caves,
to the caves and see if
what's
there's
left
anybody
and
there.
what we can salvage of this.
And it turns out there were 2,000 people there. But interestingly, like when they get there, like they get down into the caves, and Kelsier, he doesn't see anything. He's like, "Oh, she was wrong. I could have made a difference." But she actually sees something.
Yeah.
And he makes the observation, how did she see that from so far away?
Yeah.
So throughout this book, we have gotten like little tidbits that say that she's stronger or takes to things more quickly.
She's very
or
instinctual with how she applies these things, that it's just
So
she was like born into it.
Right. So
just like Muad'Dib.
She was Mistborn.
Yeah. Well,
he knows his way without, knowing everything.
listen, you punny man.
I was just trying to tie it back to the name of the book.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. But it's like there's a reveal that's coming here somewhere, and I don't know what it is yet, but I guess we'll find out. So,
is she going to be the hero of ages?
Maybe
the new one. I don't know.
Is that like the Rock of Ages cliff for me?
Oh boy, don't make me sing another song.
Come on, guys.
Rock of Ages.
I'm gonna drink more beer.
All right. Yeah. So, but I do agree that there's something special about Vin, and we don't know exactly what that is yet. But I feel like I still feel like, and I've said this before, that I think they're setting Kelsier up to be some sort of a tragic hero, that he's going to have a tragic end, and she's going to carry things on. Basically, it's going to be the Luke Obi-Wan type.
I don't disagree with you.
Situation where he's going to convey everything that he can. She's going to know it, be stronger and more powerful when he's gone, and I don't know. And then she'll have something to fight for with him, to avenge his.
You're bumming me out, so I'm going to change the subject.
Sorry, I know I like Kelsier a lot.
Yedin.
What a
moron.
What a douche.
He's dead, though.
He's like, we want to test this army. Let's go attack a garrison.
Yeah, let's test it by what? Yeah.
But to your point earlier, basically after seeing everything Kelsier did and like that battle between...
Because didn't he think that Kelsier is able to basically instill his powers into the army?
Yes.
And that absolutely wasn't what
Kelsier
happened.
realizes that. He's like, oh crap, this is my fault. And he kind of goes through this inner torturous monologue where he's like, no, you knew this would happen. You knew there were going to be losses. You knew it wasn't going to be pretty. But at the same time, he's like, I still have that like twisting in my gut because what did they say? 2,000 people left in the caves. There were
Yep.
7,000 total, so 5,000 people died because of me.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how that would get to you.
Just a little.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that.
Well, because his plan the entire time was to overthrow the Lord Ruler, but I don't think that's what the Scott thought.
No, and later that night, Menace, who Chip
We met
covered
in
in
the
the
prologue.
summary, not like menace as in like I'm menacing, but
Or
like,
Dennis.
M-E-N-S.
It's
It's
more
Menace, yeah.
it's more
You
like
could call me Dennis.
with an M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you never
But
bothered to ask now, did you?
I
Right.
liked that connection back, like from the prologue.
Yeah, and it's
I
kind of
do
going
too.
back to, it's
do
bringing Kelsier back to, this
Yeah.
is kind of what I believe from
Yes.
the beginning and what I wanted to do, and
And
kind of
he-
grounds him again.
And Menace basically is, Kelsier says, this is my fault. Basically, he's
Doesn't
trying to put
Menace
all of this
basically
on his
say
shoulders.
that this is the biggest ska victory in
So-
100 years, or
But this is what he said
Yeah.
first. Don't think quite so highly of yourself, young man.
Hmm.
These soldiers got themselves killed. You might have been their motivation, but you didn't make the choice for them. So
Those are wise
Mhm.
words.
they are, and I think we got the idea in the prologue that this was like a pretty wise and with it guy,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
So
But then Menace goes on to say a little bit later, though, that now let me give you another piece of advice, Kelsier, survivor of Hathsin. Know when to quit. You've done well, better than any would have expected. Those ska of yours killed an entire garrison's worth of soldiers before they were caught and destroyed. This is the greatest victory the ska have known in decades, perhaps centuries.
Right.
Man.
Now it's the time to walk away.
But it basically exposes the fact that the ska never expected to overthrow the final empire.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to resist the Lord Ruler, and this
Mhm.
allowed them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to make a stand.
Yeah.
They didn't want to win. They just wanted to stand for
They wanted
something
to fight.
and not be subjugated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, because then
so
he said,
from
why...
Menace's perspective,
Mhm.
yeah, this
They
was
won.
a victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then,
Right.
because in the course of the conversation, Kelsier says, why else would I gather an army like this? And Menace says, to resist, to fight.
Right.
That's why those lads came to the caves. It wasn't a matter of winning or losing. It was a matter of doing something, anything, to struggle against the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which puts a lot in perspective.
Yeah. It does.
So, yeah.
Good point.
That was, very interesting.
Yeah. I'm curious now that kind of with this, the blowing up of the army, what,
Where does
where
this
does this go?
Where do they go?
Because this is the end of the part. The next part is called Dancers in a Sea of Mist. So I'm guessing
Right.
that we have more Mistborn activities and
Yeah.
other stuff that's going on. So I'm curious.
I am
Well,
too.
Like we said at the beginning of the episode, we drop content every Wednesday. If you click below, you can get to our playlist for Mistborn, The Final Empire, which has all of our episodes that we've recorded to date. Also, if you want to click on the next episode when it is aired, you can also get to that very easily as well. We thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Allomancy.